Yes, people. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Podcast time, Tuesday, 7 p.m. You know what it is. He's cracking open the Anarchy Brew. I've got the old war beer. Remember? Scan the QR code. Get yourself a pack of war beer. Every donation heads towards supporting war flags as well. We are here live in the Anarchy Brewery itself, and we're joined by no other than special guests, Geordie Flair.
Woo, babe.
It's been a while, mate. It's been a while.
The old throat's not the same.
No, it's not like, but it's been a while, mate. It has been a while since we've seen you. How's life gone?
All right. Not alcoholic, pretty much.
He's on the 0%, so he's
0% dry. Lost all my hair.
Ric Flair's lost his hair, lost his woo, lost his ankle.
Yeah, like hit you hard, man.
It'll catch up on you. Most important part of this is the starting main question of the day. Pancake Day, isn't it?
It is. I keep forgetting it's Pancake Day.
This morning with the kids, man.
Did it this morning, and what was the choice of topping?
Nutella and grapes on one. Bacon.
Grapes?
Bacon.
Nutella and grapes?
I had to get some fruit in so she could be healthy. And then I had a little bit of Nutella. Actually, it was chocolate bar first. Like a little bit of chocolate, because I couldn't find the Nutella, but then I found it, so it was alright. Meltdown double chocolate overload. And then one was bacon and Nutella. So
bacon and Nutella.
Well, I wanted to have some protein. Right. I have a Nutella.
It's like you wanted to.
Get a reminder for this time next year. Divin Gan to Joy Rick's Pancake Day.
I tell that needed separately.
It's like you didn't know what the house. You just put everything on one. Like normally you'd have, I'll have pancakes with bacon. I'll have sweet pancakes. I'll have a bit of fruit on there. I'll have chocolate. Now we'll just fucking put everything on one.
It's like when you go to a buffet, or like a Chinese buffet, you can't decide what to have. So just fuck it out. Just get it out.
It's for the kids, man. You know, I was trying to get protein, fruit, but I had other chocolate.
All right.
Pancake Day, gotta have fun now. You know?
Oh, I gotta have fun.
I haven't had one yet, to be honest. I keep forgetting about it. I don't think I've celebrated Pancake Day in about 4 years because I just keep forgetting about it.
Get out of it. Doesn't celebrate Pancake Day. Disgrace that thing.
Pancake week as well.
Didn't believe in it.
I'll go for the old blueberries topping, syrup, banana, or Nutella, white chocolate, strawberries.
I do like Nutella and banana. Elite combination.
Let us know your combinations in the comments as well. Serious stuff. Other serious news. Comedy show came out today, brand new one.
I didn't know about that.
Didn't have that, did you?
I did. It's on my list.
Sunderland Till I Die. Series 3, is it now? 2?
Season 3.
3,
I
haven't seen it advertised.
3 episodes. It wasn't even on Netflix.
I know.
I didn't have it.
Because I went on Netflix last night, didn't see it, then I seen like a random clip on Facebook.
Normally they'll give you like at least a week to like a month's notice. They'll give like a countdown to it being released. But like you just put it in the group chat. I thought you were joking.
Must be
I thought that was some like news about Sunderland just came out, and you were like, oh, Sunderland pot.
Wasn't even normally it's like, oh, brand new Netflix.
Yeah.
Look, they have a geeky app that tells us when stuff's going. But
that's how life's gone.
Yeah. But I'm in 3 episodes, 40 minutes.
Is that all it is?
Comedy show? No, they're getting cut. They're cut after this one, Tom.
Why do this one? Because didn't do one. Not done one for 2 years. I've done one for a while.
The main one was obviously when they got relegated back to back. Well, relegated in that season, wasn't it?
I wouldn't mind a special for the derby though.
Well, that's what I mean. I was going to watch this one just for that moment, but obviously they didn't include that, did they? Outtakes. Maybe a blooper reel, that one. The derby. Would love to see it. But I don't know, I might give it a little watch. I did enjoy some of the first series and that.
So is it all about last season?
It must be, mustn't it?
Normally that's the way, but I don't know how. If it's been 2 years, it might be. It's got to be last year. Did they make the playoffs last year?
Yeah, they lost, didn't they? Did not win the first leg, but they lost the second leg.
And they lost the semi-final, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a double leg around. Did they not go one? I think they were 1-0 up in the first leg. If I might be completely wrong.
It's not their best players. He's still have to run the playoffs. Oh, we'll bring in Michael Beale. Yeah,
that's worked out well, hasn't it? All the fans didn't want it, did they? Anyways, that's the back end, so we'll have enough about that. All right. Although last question, people know how I feel. I would like to get them promoted. I'd like to smash them at least twice a season. Geordie Rick.
It's literally the best day of my football.
Amazing, wasn't it?
Like, it's been so long. I've always said I want them to come up, never beat Win, never finish above Win, never win a cup. But Derby Day is even on the Ashley era or something like that, you knew you weren't ever going to do anything. But if Sunderland win the league, you had 2 games to just look forward to so much. Like it's bigger than the World Cup final. Like it's just
big statement.
Yeah,
massive. If England are in it, that might change a little.
Never know. Not in the Southgate.
But incredible.
Nah. But I like because a lot of fans are like, let them rot. Let them rot and
I'm on
leagues.
the fence about it. I can see both ways because yes, 2 games a season, it's mint, but I just think back to like obviously the bad days, like the 6 in a row, like how much stress. I know when you beat them, it's mint, but when you lose to them, like there's just too much hanging in the balance for me. Like
worth it because the pain. Because
I know things have gone differently. Like we've had our takeover, we've got the money and good players and stuff. So I feel differently about it now. So yeah, in one sense it would be mint, and I would love the derbies back 2 games a year. But in the one sense, like just seeing them not think they were going to get promoted from League One every year and they're not. Like, that was mint. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I can't lie.
Northeast, man. Want Northeast? Like I miss Borough playing in the league. Like I just thought it was
I'd take one of them.
It's
Any
not
of
a
them.
massive rivalry with Borough, but it's like it's still like nice. It's like like Northeast teams. I want them sort of up. I want to beat every single one of them. But like it just makes it slightly more fun, you know.
I'd much rather have like the Borough and the Leeds in the Prem than your Brentfords and your Palaces.
It is good to have northern teams in. Like even Sheffield, like it's close-ish.
Oh, Sheffield, brilliant. I
get
no. Keep up with the up. I wear Wilder.
Do that every year.
How is Wilder?
Chris Wilder. I forgot he was.
Big win for him on the weekend.
I did, like when I seen him celebrating the win, I was like, fucking Chris Wilder. Completely forgot he was there.
I liked his interview after the game, like where he was like, I celebrated like at least 6 pints. At least minimum. Yeah, at least 6 pints. And like,
yeah, so I think Chris.
Scan that QR code, Wilder. You know, right? You get some pints delivered. Right then.
Oh, that is a nice drop.
It's nice that one. What you got this week?
That is
just favourite.
Blind Faith.
Sensational. Very nice. So Forest 3-2 away win. How are you feeling after that one, Geordie? Rick, pleased with that one? Wasn't the best performance some are saying, but big 3 points.
Don't care. Absolutely. This season has been the amount of it. Like you can't hide it. The amount of injuries, the away form. Look at the away form that win. I think it's a 3 or 4 in a row now.
3 in a row now.
Like I think
went months without winning away now.
And then the way the game was going, took the lead twice and scored in the second half. It started so sloppy. You're like, we're going to lose here, and then we got the winner, and then honestly, for it, I'm like the season's. It seems like even though we've got injuries, it's just picking up.
It is slowly
wins out.
Yeah.
Does it a bit like the Keegan now in the past few days? Just wins score more than you. Like it's exciting. That was a really exciting game.
I was saying that, like entertaining and end to end, and what was it now? 3 at Forest, 3 at Villa, 4 against Luton, and plenty of goals conceded in that now.
Honestly, mate, like it's just unreal. Like I just feel like we're picking up. I just feel something happening. Like we're getting on that run that we want to try to grasp Europe. You know. So.
I think you've got to remember now, like we are still expecting to like hammer teams or comfortably win when we've got all these injuries. You know what I mean? So it's still it's a massive positive.
I've had the same 3 in midfield or something for like
months.
Like it's like that happens now, and then honestly, like is it Wilson injured now?
Yeah,
I'm going to strike really and then they're like, oh, you need to beat them. And I'm like,
we only really have like 3 forwards and 3 midfielders at any one point. Like they often just rotate. One will come back and the other will get injured. So say, oh well, you're going to stop for the next 9 games, and then someone else will get injured.
He left in the boot, played on the weekend. He's probably going to have to play front on this weekend.
I trained once last week, and then he played the 90, didn't he? Pretty much. I think Kraft came on from late on, or whoever it was, and he's going to be the main man at the minute. We'll talk about Wilson's injury soon, but
the fact that we're getting results to me, like honestly, like how can you not be happy? Because if we were losing or drawing, you'd be like. I don't even think you'd be that angry, like, especially with the Luton draw, because if we're lost, then you'd be like, 4 points. Where if you would have took a draw away to Villa and beaten Luton.
We said that last week. If it was results were the other way around, you'd have taken that 9.
Now that would be Forest 7 and 9. Like honestly, wasn't like really good. Like right away, like enjoy it. Like,
is it worrying that we're talking about the entertainers and all that, but we've kind of lost the solid defence that seen us get top 4, haven't we? That was where it was built last year, wasn't it?
It is just shaky. It's like probably like squeaky bum time for 90 minutes.
Like conceding every time on the break.
Like from what we were last season, like how many games did we go? Like Pope nearly broke a record for most games, like without even conceding a goal. Like our defence was so solid last year. Like with no disrespect, but Luton and Forest are probably 2 of the lesser sides. I think everyone would agree and say in the Premier League. And
table doesn't lie.
And within 2 games, we conceded 6 goals. It's just crazy.
I don't really think it's the defence. I think it's more the midfield. The midfield's changed that much. I think we're easy to get through. Like because we used to remember when we had Joe Litton and Willock, they would both cover doing that side, and then Longstaff down that side. And Miley and everyone's doing a great job going forward. And I just the type of players that they are, you're going to get people bombing through the midfield. I don't think it's really the defence, because I think you put 4 defenders up against 4 really fast, quick, decent attacking players. The attacking players are eventually going to score. You know what I mean? Like I think it's just going to happen. So I think it's more the midfield, and obviously Dubravka's actually been all right. So I think people blame him. But Pope is obviously he makes some big saves in that as well. So I think we're just missing few key elements. But
You can see how much Joe Linton compliments Dan Burn, like.
backs him up so well. I thought him and Willock, when they were both on the left, when Joe Linton was left wing, and then Willock was like left side of the field, I thought like just no team could get down that side.
No.
They would like triple up. Like it was really good work there.
I want to put the midfield in, right? Because everyone's saying, oh, I should have signed a DM in January, and last summer I should have signed that number 6. But our midfield last year didn't seem to need a number 6, did it? This is the midfield that got top 4. We didn't have these problems last year, so what is it then? Because in my opinion, I think we need a 6. And for me, we've seen what Bruno is best at.
Yeah.
Now,
I think in an ideal world, you're saying a number 6.
No, because Tonali's still in it, isn't he? You'd have Bruno on the left,
I
Tonali on the
thought
right,
he
and then
was-
someone in the middle.
I thought he was more of a number 6 when we signed him, and I thought that's what he was brought in to do. But when I found out he
He's like
wasn't going to play
box,
that
isn't he?
role,
He's
I was like, well,
You've seen
what's the
against
point?
Villa in the opening day of the season, and you've seen what he did for Milan. He's not that player at all. So
Could do with a DM, but I don't think there's any harm to it. I think obviously probably.
I think it'll
this run is-
improve our team
I think
massively, to be
the
honest.
goals we're conceding at the minute shows you. Like we had like a Makalele or a Kante in that style.
R.I.P. to
Like,
you,
even
you'd
that
be
goal
perfect.
against Forest, someone would have cut it out. You know what I mean?
check to you, somebody else would be perfect, man.
You know, we've got a big summer coming up. This season is the season I expect to have last year. So the fact we've got that season last year, I'm delighted this season. Like totally in contention for Europe. We're starting to pick up form. Like I was just no frustration or questioning of things at all. Like just enjoy the season. Like especially with everything we've been through with the injuries and that. Like we're coming the other side of it now. We've still got injuries, but it's starting to pick up.
And we've still got FA Cup as well. You know what I mean? Still got a big
Exactly.
FA Cup tie that people
It's a successful season so far.
will beat Blackburn in the quarters.
Like what do we all say? Oh, just want to like hopefully qualify for Europe, like challenge for Europe. That's exactly what we're doing. We're in the FA Cup. We beat Paris Saint-Germain 4-0. We beat Sheffield United 7 or 8 or whatever. We beat Sunderland. This season has been tremendous for me. Like it's given me 2 or 3 great memories. Even the Luton game being there live. We might not have won. It's one of the best games I've ever seen. Like it was insane. Like when we got the 4th and Barnes scored. I've never felt like that in my life. Obviously, we'd
Should
hit
have
it
won
up.
it now. Maybe
But
should have
like
scored.
the memories that I've had this season as a fan.
I think like just
Like,
PSG
it's just-
alone, like
Yeah.
the
that was mind-blowing,
like not even beating them, but absolutely smashing them. Like that'll go down in history. Like we look back at like the 3-3 with Barcelona and things like that. Like that's one of them. That's one of them games. Like when was that? 96, 97? Like that's something that we still talk about today. Like that PSG game is one of them. Like we'll be talking about that
Exactly.
in 30
forever.
years time.
Like that's one of the
Forever.
best days. Like in terms of football terms, like it's insane. Like so, like the season's created memories for me. We're not in a relegation battle. We're challenging for Europe. Obviously, when you lose and as a fan, you're frustrated. Like you question things like in the heat of the moment. When you actually sit back and look at it, we're having a hell of a season. Like it's not bad at all. It's a season I expect to have. Like if we get Europe at the end of the season, and say if we get to the FA Cup final, possibly win it, even the semi-finals. Like to me, that's a really successful season. And then hopefully in the summer we can totally kick on, get rid of some of the players that are coming to the end of the contract, get a more cohesive squad, and then go from there.
Same players that have been here for absolutely ages.
It's only 4 months away, August or so, 5 months away.
No, it's
like
not far.
people's going on like next season's like another
There's not
lifetime.
that many games left,
Yeah.
really. What is this?
I just
14,
think
15
people's
games left?
expectations have gone too far. Like we had one amazing season last year, but everyone knows like that wasn't meant to be our season last
No,
year. Like we
fast-tracked.
massively, we were fast-tracked massively. So if this was our journey, like if last season, say we finished 8th or 9th, I think most people would have taken that, like come from where we had been. Like 8th or 9th last season would have been a massive achievement. So now we're 7th, pushing for Europe. Like that's the journey we should be on. So
100%.
it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. Like I don't think we're ever going to maintain last season. I think top 4, I don't want to say it was a fluke, but other teams weren't as good, like your Liverpool's, Chelsea's, Tottenham's. If they were as good as they should be, we probably would have finished 5th last season.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of back on track where they should be now, especially Liverpool. So yeah, I think we're sort of where we should be with the idea of looking to become a more stable top 4 team in the next 2-3 years.
Just build it slowly. You know, you don't get 4th every single year.
No,
You
it was
build
never
it.
going to happen again. And like you said, overachieving. And I always said Eddie could be the master of his own downfall, and that, like, exceeding expectations too soon type of thing.
But I think he's exceeding expectations this season. Like in terms of the amount of injuries you had and stuff. You see teams just lose. You lose momentum, and then you start arguing. You start just giving away stupid goals. You just never pick it back up. Like we might lose a bit, but then he picks the momentum up again. It's coming up. Like you know what I mean. Like he deserves a hell of a flaming bit of praise for that for me.
Good point, like, because you could have totally capsized the season. Really, like you could have been. We could easily be sitting 14th, 15th now out the FA Cup and just thinking, fucking definitely roll on July. Do you know what I mean? Like now it's going on, yeah.
No, Champions League, Cup games, League games. We had the same team. It was 7 or 8 games, and like it's mint.
In such quick succession, and all. We had like 11 games in 4 weeks.
In December,
like
like 10
crazy.
How many games we lost in the league to still be in the European positions at the minute shows you the start was solid, and he's starting to pick it up again. Like I think he deserves massive praise. This season, in some respects, is probably more impressive than last in a way, considering the injuries that we've had and the amount of games that we've had. Yeah, if you actually looked at it like that,
we had a lot of consistency last year, like in terms of like the personnel. We didn't have many key injuries. A few players went in and out, like Isaac Wilson and whatever, but Bruno's, Trippier's, like Joe Linton's, the important players played a lot of games.
We've lost Tonali and Barnes straight away, so there's 2 players they brought in to improve the squad. He hasn't had them like for the whole season, pretty much. He's done a hell of a job.
Lewis Hall obviously hasn't been able to make any impact though. People question that signing.
Is he on loan and then getting bought?
Obligation.
Do we have to buy him?
It looks that way, doesn't it? Eddie Howe was apparently not, but then it looks like
I
it is.
don't really understand. I read sometimes that we didn't have to buy him, and then sometimes that we do have to buy him. That we've already bought.
I think we do have to buy him, like.
Because it's an obligation to buy, isn't it? Not an option to buy.
He looked really good at Chelsea, looked really good at Man U, and then when he came on against City in the FA Cup, other games he's looked awful. But obviously he hasn't had a run of games. I don't know. I don't think Gordon played a lot when he started. I know he probably should have played Hall a bit more in the sense of we had so many injuries. Maybe give someone a gun. But I suppose they've got to trust Eddie. Like I thought he has a lot of potential. He come through with Chelsea and looked really good. Lampard's playing. But if we sign him, we're back at the end of the day. Like, I don't really know. Is he a left back or a wing? Because I thought he was a left back, but then
he's versatile.
He's played more midfield for Chelsea, hasn't he? But he's played like left wing back, and now Eddie Howe is trying to convert him into that more solid left back.
He might just be doing loads of work on the training ground, you know what I mean? And then because he might not get his criticism, then when he comes on, he can fully trust him. Like Gordon said, it was hard to get used to the standards. Maybe that's the crack for Hall. We don't know. We're not there. You know what I mean? So you just got to. Obviously, there's just loads of chatter constantly. It's good to talk about it, but you've just got to back Eddie at the end of the day. Like, I've never had a manager bring everyone together as much, so I'm just.
So his decisions. Are you so surprised in it because he did come under a lot of pressure, like especially
I thought he was going
in December.
And it was mental to me. Like everybody knew about the injuries, but then suddenly you still expect results. And I just surely getting us the 4th Champions League Cup final. He's banked a couple of years, as long as he's not in a relegation battle. Even if he's 10th, 11th, or 12th, back him. You know what I mean? Like absolute madness. Like I just didn't. I just should back him. Like look at back in the day, like Fergie and stuff. And then he got Man U relegated, stuff like that. Like I didn't want to be a Chelsea or a Man City when something's not going right for 6 months. You get rid of manager. That would be the worst thing that could possibly happen to the club that I support.
I couldn't be excited being a Chelsea fan. It's like like Tottenham now. Like they just change the managers all the time. Like get in, we've got. Pochettino for how long?
Like I know you love the club.
I'm surprised he hasn't been sacked.
You want the manager to bring look at Klopp and Liverpool. You know what I mean? Even Arteta and Arsenal, Pep and Man City. The minute you want to have that connection, and Eddie's give with that. Let's back him. Let's give him that back.
I agree with that. Like people that were wanting him out at like the back end of the year when we went through a bit of poor form. It's mostly down to the squad, lack of depth, injuries, lack of fitness, too many games or whatever. We're losing games, and people are saying like. It's not an excuse. Like it sort of is, but is he not allowed a little bit of bad form? Like look what he done for last season. Like I still kind of like I know it was maybe slightly more justified, but like Ranieri got sacked months after winning Leicester the league. I know they were bottom of the league.
So happy
they were bottom of the league. Granted, and that's a fireable offence to have your team bottom of the league, but. Look what he fucking done, like literally like 5 months ago.
Greatest season.
It's crazy.
Greatest season.
At least give him that,
neutral fan. Does that make sense?
Because you mentioned, right, I think a good one to look at is Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. 2 back-to-back finishes in 8th in his first 2 years. 3rd year, going for the title, should have probably won it, really top for most of the season. This year, doing well in the Champions League. And they're obviously challenging again for the league. So it's impossible to beat City, you know what I mean? So
but it's not like if you look at what Eddie's done when he's come in, I've never seen a manager come to Newcastle and change the way we play in terms of like exciting. You can see a complete style of play. Philosophy. You can see I've never seen that happen to our club. You've seen that happen to other clubs. I've never seen that happen to Newcastle. Players like Jacob Murphy,
Joe Linton.
He's improved so many players that I thought at the time. With championship players, even possibly League
pretty
One
much
players.
everyone was. I think we all agreed probably 80% of that team should have been sold.
the coach, obviously the wonder Steve Bruce, the style of play, but you're looking at them thinking, these are not Premier League players. And now I look at them and I think, oh, you're a Premier League player. Like, that's what Eddie Howe's done. Like, surely that is the best thing you can do as a manager and a coach. So if he's doing that with these players, give him time. Let him bring the players in that he wants and give him time to get them the way he wants. Like, he deserves them, man.
Let's go back to Forest briefly. Then obviously Bruno Guimaraes was the hero. Brace from him. Want to ask you, and you're next. Is Bruno Guimaraes world class? Or is he close to reaching that? Can he reach that potential? Can he be in that bracket if he don't think he is?
I think he can be. I think he is just inside of that bracket. But for me, he's just a bit too inconsistent. And I don't know if that's maybe to do with his position. Like, I think, like we were speaking before, like he's been playing number 6 a lot. Like, I think he's a complete midfielder because he can play number 6. Like, I'm not saying at all that he can't. He's good at it. And he can also be a number 8 and he can also be a number 10. So for me, that's a complete midfielder when he can do all 3. When you can tackle, you can defend, you can help your defense, get forward, pass, cross, whatever it is, you can do it a lot. So he's got potential to be world class, but I think to be world class, you've got to be consistent. And sometimes he goes through a run of games where he just goes missing. Like, I also think because he set himself a standard as well. Like, we know what he can be, and he is technically our best player. So we expect a certain amount of things from him. So when he doesn't deliver it, it's like, Bruno, where are you? And he can go through 4, 5, 6 games like that where he's just completely void. It's like, Bruno, what the fuck is going on here? But then he has a game like you had against Nottingham, and it's like, oh yeah, that's him. That's Bruno. So for me, I wouldn't say he's world class because his form drops too much, but he's there or thereabouts. He's pushing it.
Your thoughts, Geordie Rick?
So I put it in like a boxer sort of term. You know, you have like world champions. I think he's like the level just below at the minute. He's right, consistency. Like Bale, when he comes through a Tottenham, he's just winning games on his own. Like, until he's doing that to me is world class.
Which he did on Saturday.
He
like
did
Forest,
two world class
he does
against
it
Forest.
frequently.
But then it's got to be big games. So but I don't think. I think the world class gets banded about too often.
Too easy.
I think there's only 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 players.
Especially with like social
class.
media pages, Sport Bible to score any country.
Yeah,
So,
it's a broad term.
score 10 goals and he's world class.
He's a Brazil starting international. He's elite level. Like elite level. He can go to any club in the world and he could get in, play for them. Might not start every game, but he could go to any club in the world. So
well, people want them, like Real Madrid, and everybody wants them.
So to me, that is more than good enough. But world class is like your Salahs and stuff like that are just winning games constantly. I mean, defenders are slightly different because you can't judge them for winning games. But yeah, he's definitely.
The real reason, like, why we have to sign a number 6 is to allow Bruno to play in that 8.
Yeah,
you've seen against Luton that when he's further forward, that cross, the slice cross, amazing.
Oh, that outside
because he's in that same little patch where he was at Luton, he was at Forest, where he's picking up the ball, he's shooting from outside the box, he's picking up the ball, he's running inside. He's making things happen. He's wasted as a 6, completely wasted for me.
Yeah. So
I know obviously with the injuries,
job,
he's had to drop back. But now that Magpie's came in, and Magpie's obviously been playing as a 6 lately.
You could win us games further forward.
What we need to do is sign, and I will link with him in January, is sign someone like Onana for me from Everton. Just some dogged midfielder there who's trying to sit there, do the dirty work, doesn't care about doing anything but just snapping people and breaking up play. That's what we need. So Bruno can just do his own little thing up the top and just make the magic happen.
I know he's good at getting up and down as a box to box, and particularly on that left hand side. But I always thought Joe Linton should be tried there because Joey's a bit of that for me. Like, he's just a shit house. Like, he can just make tackles in the middle of the park, pick the ball up and pass it. Like, you just need like a Busquets. Like, Busquets never done that fancy, but he was always branded world class. All he had to do was make a tackle and pass the ball 6 yards to either Xavi or Iniesta. He had the easiest job in the world, but look, he's doing it.
Do you think Howe wants a DM? Because every time, I think he likes every player to be box to box. I think that's his mentality.
That's what it was last year.
It makes sense in our formation to have a number 6, though. I think just to protect the back 4, which was needed
when everybody's bombed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which we didn't really tend to do. He's just like,
it's like 100 miles. That was just like a bunch of fucking Jack Russells going, like, let's run.
I got mental. I think we do for that just a bit of that calmness to settle things down and protect the back 4, because we won't get exploited so easy in that middle of the park for me. Like we've seen in the last few games. But Bruno obviously had that celebration, jumped on the advertising boards, wanted to jump in the crowd, but said he didn't want the yellow. They obviously stopped him playing the next 2 games.
Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't even think of that.
Like you said, I was just about to jump in the crowd, and I thought, oh fuck, I'm on a yellow.
Well,
so
false.
So he obviously said after the game, that's for people who are speaking, who do too much talking, who say, oh, I'm going to leave. She said, yeah. How long do you reckon Bruno will stay at Newcastle for? Because let's be honest, Real Madrid and PSG are still sniffing and could come in and match that release clause in the summer.
I don't think that's ever an answer, really. Obviously, you want to stay here as long as possible. Technically, we're the richest club in the world, so theory-wise, you're going to leave. I mean, if we don't get Champions League and then Real Madrid comes sniffing and he wants to be at that level,
different grade.
He's going to want to go, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't care about the club or the players. He's not from Newcastle, so you can't blame the lad. But I hope we'll have him. I don't know. I hope he's a bit like Yaya Toure, you know what I mean? I hope he just stays. Like, it just gets with the company. Like, the company come in. Look at that way, you know what I mean? Like, just stays and just guides the club through. I'd say Bruno being captain at some point.
He's got a passion for it.
Give him what he wants. Like, he's our best player.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't be surprised if he just has one more season. And just
as in this season's his last, or one more
next season. I think he's just got obviously this season. I think we'll have offers. I think we'll be batting offers out the park like all summer. I think, like you say, Real Madrid, PSGs, Barcelona's, Man City's, they'll want them, and we'll not want them to leave. Obviously, I think we'll be rejecting it. But if he has good years and if he has that consistency and like labels himself world class as we spoke about, I don't think it'll be long, because I think for the fucking stupid FFP reasons, like they've said, we need to sell to make money. He's labelled at about 100 million, but if he can stay next year, get some consistency, prove his worth, and we get like 120 plus million offer, I don't really think we can turn that down. And I know we want to turn it down because we don't want him to leave. Like, you could offer with $1 billion. We want our best player. We want Bruno because he loves it. Like, you can see the passion, and that's all we've ever asked for, is someone that gives a shit. Bruno gives lots of shits. Like, he actually truly cares about the city, the fans, like everything, which is mint. That's all we've ever asked for.
So you want to?
Yeah, 100%. But if an offer comes in from a world-class team like Real Madrid, PSG, I don't know if we can turn it down.
Joelinton not meant to be off. He's
the one with the contract issue, isn't he?
You can't lose Joelinton and Bruno.
How much reckon you get for Joelinton? No, he's only got 12 months left on his contract.
That's a good question.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's worth a lot now. I think he's quality, but he's only got a year left.
His full net value, I think, would be interesting. I think at least 60.
I reckon so.
With 12 months on your contract, that probably at least cuts in half, doesn't it?
25 mil or something like that, maybe. Which I don't think is worth it at all. You're not going to get a better replacement at that. No chance. Oh, dearie me.
Oh, man.
But for me, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Bruno did leave when a big offer came in, but I think he's got to be wary that he talks about the fans, he talks about how loved he is at the club and stuff. If he goes to Real Madrid, no one's going to care about Bruno. When he's playing in the same team as Jude Bellingham, do you think the Real Madrid fans are going to be chanting Bruno?
It's the same as everywhere. Like loads of players have gone to like world-class teams, and
Kabay admits that he regretted it, didn't he? Because he was like, oh, I missed the admiration and that.
Yeah, like if you go to a team where it's just full of world-class players, then you're just looked at just like everyone else. Like you're just average. You're just another player. Like, you're not special. Whereas here, like, he is special, and we treat him as such. I think if you go I think like Real Madrid fans are just mad entitled. Like, remember who was it they were presenting? Who was their big money signing 2 seasons ago? I can't remember who it was.
Is it the French kid scored against England?
Actually, no. I think it was Hazard. I think when they were presenting Hazard, the fans were in the stands saying we want Mbappe or something else. Like, are you for real? Like, how ungrateful? You've spent like 120 million on this world class, and at the time he was world class Hazard when he left.
Maybe
Chelsea.
they wanted something.
Maybe they were right. But I just think, like, how greedy are you, man? Like, you just signed a world class player for 120 million. Just celebrate that. Like, why can't you wait until tomorrow to ask for Hazard?
Yeah, they're fans of that. Dude, they loot the building for 3 years, and he won them like 3 champions.
I think scored fucking world class volleys in that.
You played Rose, you feel like my hero. Like, you know what I mean? They were like,
I think Ronaldo went through like a 5-game barren spell, and they were booing him.
They're throwing like stones up his corner.
Look at Barca this year, kicking off because not in the league. He's spent no money. You're buying OEPs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like, it's just mental.
Yeah. That's European football for you. That's the risk you take. Stay with the Geordies, Bruno. Stay with the Geordies. Finally, then on the Forest game, I want to talk about Dan Burn, because in the podcast last week, we were talking about is it Tino time? Is it time to make a change? Is it going to be Burn in there again? And what will happen? And Burn comes in, he does get caught out for the goal. People are saying it's the midfield, Langer's doing him, it was going to happen. But you were talking about it, Geordie, Rick, that you think that the positives outweigh the negatives of picking Dan Burn?
Possibly, yeah. I think he's a really good team player. I think he's been caught out, but I think more so because of the midfield. He does get done around the outside, but again, if you look at the way the team plays, when we had people back them up, it was absolutely fine. We haven't got that at the minute. So maybe when we haven't got that, you possibly should play Livramento. But, again, it's down to Howe. I think, obviously, the first goal against Forest, as soon as Dan Burn got done, you just knew. You're like, everybody's going to be. But to be fair, that was totally the midfield, and then the kid's just really fast. He can't do anything to combat speed, and that's the issue with him. But I think he's better at centre back anyway when he first comes. So I think instead of signing a centre back, I mean, more welcome to our technique players. You can have Burn be like your third centre back. Like come in now, he's wicked at centre back, and then play Livramento left back or get a new left back. Because Livramento to me is a right back. He's good. He's done really good at left back, but he's still not. Like he's much better going forward on the right than he is on the left. So we're still in that situation where you haven't got a proper left back. So we need to get a left back either way. But I wouldn't be even considering getting rid of Dan Burn. I love Dan.
I wouldn't consider getting rid of him. No, not at all.
I don't think he's saying until he retires for me.
But especially when he's versatile, like you say, he's better at centre back. And for me, I think I said it last week. For me, he's Botman's back up. But when need be, he's proven that he can be a left back. He's not fantastic at it, but he can do it. So he's a versatile backup option, which for squad depth is amazing. You need someone like him in your team. And for especially someone who's a Geordie, and as mentioned, someone who gives a shit. Dan Burn loves playing for the tune. So someone like him in the squad.
Man. Like if you look at our team on set pieces, we're massive. I like that. That positive again can possibly outweigh the next. So you might concede the other one, but then look at what the minute we're going. Like the goal against Forest, it was Botman to shot, like two centre backs. That's the kind of I mean, like positives outweigh the negatives sometimes in that situation.
You could play Burn at centre back and play Shaw up top against Bournemouth, I suppose.
Play free will do what he wants.
Messi rule.
Messi will do what he wants.
Fine, very Messi.
3 million or something. Wow.
That was a bargain. That's got to be one of the biggest bargains. Like,
Newcastle history with Premier League.
He was 2018, wasn't he? Certainly since then. Can you name me a better bargain than that?
Because even 3 million in 2018 is just like fiver.
It's a
Sunderland spend more than money. Striker.
I would definitely.
Like it's just like people like League One, like Wrexham, and that. Like people are looking to spend more money than that. You know what I mean? Like it's mental. Like a Premier League club, 3 mil. Cheers, man.
It is mad. Like it is mad. So I agree. Main centre backup is what he should be. And again, it goes back to Lewis Hall. I mean, is he good enough to try and step up? You'd think he would be the left back.
I haven't seen nothing.
You think he would be the left back?
I haven't seen him play. Is he playing 90 minutes? Or
no, he gets taken off every time, doesn't he?
I watched him a few times for Chelsea last year, and I've got to say, every time I've seen him, I was impressed. Because he's like a proper forward, like a proper modern day, like pretty much like a Trippier. But his delivery was pinpoint. Like his crossing was amazing, but full of energy. He could come back, stick a tackle in, like unreal. Like I thought he was a tremendous signing. I had no idea that he was a Toon fan, having a Geordie dad or mom, whichever one it is. Like I just think it's amazing having someone like him, like Jacob Murphy. People forget, like he's half a Geordie, born a Toon fan. Like Hall's the same kind of thing. Like having someone again who cares, who really, really cares. Lewis Hall will because he's a Toon fan. But like he's versatile. He can be a fullback if we need him to be. He can be a centre mid. I'm sure he's played DM once or twice before. He can even play left wing if you needed him. So someone who's really, really versatile, but best years ahead of him because when he wasn't playing and we needed somebody, I think it might have been Keith asked him in the press conference, like, "Oh, what about Lewis Hall?" He says, "I love him. Just couldn't speak highly enough of him." Says he's a great player, great kid, but he says he's got development to do. And I respect that because Chelsea, big team Chelsea, played him quite a bit last season.
Did I?
And Eddie Howe's, even though we need players, he's like, he's not ready. Just take your time, just develop him, get him to where he needs to be, and then
Like, say if it's defensive issues or something like that, like it seems like Howe is just getting them up to a standard he expects that he's confident that he can get on the pitch and just totally deliver like his vision. Which I'm back at. Like that's what you should be doing back. Like obviously we've got opinions, but you're going to have opinions. A part of being fans, it's fun having opinions. You know what I mean? Like discussing stuff. But at the end of the day, like Howe's done nothing really wrong. You went to the back five against Forest as well, which I really like. The back, I
thought they went fucking back six because they brought another one on.
They were 2-3 minutes ago.
Or something.
I like all the fullbacks were on.
It's like what position we got for?
Just Man U in the cup again.
Literally, I don't know what formation we were getting.
I was just waiting for Dummett to come on and it would be set. I tell you what, though, I was at Old Trafford for that Man U in the Carabao Cup, and Lewis Hall was unbelievable. Not just because he scored the goal, but just the
Energy,
whole game. The whole game. I was, he's arrived. This is it. And he doesn't play for 2 months. But anyways, we'll move it on now into the other side, which is Kieran Trippier on the right back. And after a very dodgy spell for him, where he was obviously getting a load of grief at the same time as Howe, but he was the main man, wasn't he? All this thing about his personal life and everything, which we won't go into. He's got a big return to form, hasn't he?
Massive return to form. Like, obviously, it looked like everybody like online, I mean, freaking out. Oh, this is the downfall. Get himself now. He's done his time. He's done what we need to do. He's come back now, bounced back. Just like it's like he never had a bad run of form again. Like vital for, like unbelievable. And clearly, he's just had a run of a few bad games. Is what it is, and he's just back at it. Like, absolutely best right back I've seen in a Newcastle shirt.
I mean,
I'm only 33, so it's not like I've seen.
Are you? Annie?
No. You wouldn't have that. But he's literally 100% the best right back I've seen. It's not just that. I'll giggle at myself when I'm watching the games because he wins nearly every header, and I just kind of figure out. Like, he just springs, like, and it cracks us up. And he's talking, I'm like, how have you won that header?
I thought that one
fits. The game, though. Like, that's what it is, because he's like
reason of the game.
Like it's amazing.
He's just really intelligent. And you can tell he's experienced.
Commanding everyone constantly. Like, when you're live and you're watching it, you just see him talking to every single player, the team shape. Like,
he's the captain that we needed.
It is that part of the way you see the timing and everything. And it was strange that drop off though, because I was there, Stamford Bridge in the cup, and they were literally seconds away from going to a semi-final against Borough. And he gives the ball with a mudrick. And you just, what are you doing there?
Then missed his penalty.
That was terrible idea for him to take a penalty, to be honest.
So like last
take him out the fire. Last 10 seconds, man, it was
devastating,
horrendous. But at least he's back now. Obviously, that ball was unbelievable, wasn't it, for Bruno? That whip on that.
Sensational. The goal of Luton was a little
which, to be fair, though, we're seeing he's back on form. He was to blame, I thought, for I think it was the third Luton goal where he's bombing forward and he gets completely exposed and all that space is behind him, which he does do sometimes, but that's the Eddie Howe system, isn't it?
That's kind of why Dan Burns there, though. Like, that's what we're meant to do, to let him break free, and then Dan Burns meant to stay back and push him back through.
He's right back. He's never really right back, is it? It's a modern fullback, the bombing forward. You're going to get caught eventually. That's probably when you need your day.
That is. I think you need to because someone's just going to sit there.
I remember watching Pancake for Leicester. I used to just watch him when I was watching the games. He used to crack us up because wherever the ball was and went up that end, he would just suddenly come into the screen. I've never seen a better DM at the time. He's just running every ball.
He was just everywhere.
He was
so funny.
Well, him and Shaw were the best bargains ever. I mean, him, Shaw, and Morris. I mean, they were less than $1 million, weren't they?
Jimmy Bonny was on the money. When you think of it, like
that was back when he was playing non-league or something. He was like the most expensive non-league player in history or something. Wasn't he?
Still banging them in now.
I'm sure Leicester fans were kicking off because I think they were in the Championship or maybe League One when they signed him. So £1 million to them at the time was loads of money. And Leicester fans were like, "What are you doing? £1 million on him?"
I was back then. He was only considered the most expensive non-league signing. He's only going to go and win the Premier League, so I went there, like, can't £1 million spent that, and now he's fucking 45 and he's still banging them in. Getting you promoted. Must be alright. That. Speaking of strikers, Callum Wilson. News today, pectoral injury, too many bench presses at the old gymsies. Not that, no, just gets injured, just doing absolutely
part-time contract, babe.
You should be on a pay as you go. You should be on a pay as you go, eh? Night shift Tesco, that means 0 hour thing. Honestly, Callum Wilson, man.
I love him.
Should be sponsored by Shawwoods now, like poppadoms. Made of poppadoms, honestly. Callum Poppadom Wilson. Every single time, there's nothing. Like, honestly, man. And the most frustrating thing is obviously Isak comes back, Wilson gets injured, vice versa. We've never got a striker. It's an absolute nightmare.
Frustrating this season, but you've got to think they're now. It's probably FFP out of this season. Summer, surely they just sorted. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Should have got Martinez on free.
Should have.
Went to Montreal now.
It's so frustrating though because
he's clearly never meant for anything else but the fucking MLS. And he knows like, I'm decent. Yeah, I'm not going
to get it. Games without strikers, and people are like, "Oh, how are you? Like, we expect to win this game? Like, which team on earth expects to win a game without a striker? Like, really? Like it's happened so often.
Spain did.
Like,
yeah.
We've got a decent midfield, but we haven't quite got Xavi, Iniesta.
Fabregas is a false name.
It's not quite the same, is it? But it's just madness. Like, we didn't even have a striker. Like, I didn't necessarily expect to win the game. It's a home game. You think, oh, we're going to win this on the weekend. But then really, I think you're called up front. technically,
If we're lucky.
before, if we're lucky, you know what I mean?
Maybe fucked now.
Like, it's just different now, so just go in the game, just enjoy what happens to me. Like, I'm just taking each game as it comes at the minute.
Positive joy, Rick. What's going on?
I know.
Someone was saying before in the comments, get him a Red Bull. I'm used to him being too hyper. He's too calm.
Power of positivity. Bit.
Mindfulness Rick in his old age. Meditating Rick.
I'll Zen.
Aye.
Should we still saying Flanagan?
I still take
Oh,
Flanagan.
Flanagan.
Flanagan days.
Flanagan days.
Go in the league, I'll bring Geordie Rick.
Damn burnout, Flanagan in.
Flanagan, man, he's still good. Bring him on the coaching stuff.
If we win the FA Cup, you've got to bring Geordie Rick Fair. So, obviously, in the January window in Keg, Callum Wilson was rumoured with the move away. The likes of Atletico Madrid was sniffing, other teams on loan. Do you think we should have sold him with this injury record and try to get someone else in?
No, and I think we touched on that in episode 1 or 2, just because we haven't got depth. Like, I've always believed that you should have 3 strikers. So if we sold Wilson and replaced him with someone, yeah, well, maybe it's in a better scenario if you sign someone that isn't built of fucking poppadoms. But yes, you're still just down to 2 strikers. Like, Isaac's proven that he can be injury prone as well. So I would always keep 3 strikers, even if Wilson got demoted to 3rd choice. What a 3rd choice. If fit, obviously.
It would be a brilliant 3rd choice because then there'd be no pressure on him to start these games.
Yeah, I always
20 minutes
believe
off the bench.
I always believe you should have 3 strikers in your squad. So selling them would just solve absolutely nothing because to me, you just have to replace them. We have to sign 2. Instead of just signing 1 to replace them, for me, you just then need to sign 2. So it'll be pointless.
Keep him in the summer, give him a year or 2 or whatever he's on now with the contract, and then who could we sign in the summer then as a striker then? So you're going for a young one to compete with. He's actually going an experienced one.
Everybody's kicking off with Solanke. I think he's alright, but I think he'd be like a 3rd striker for us. I wouldn't have him start.
No.
He hit a good run of form and he's got potential, but he's not consistent enough. I've got no idea because like the hardest position to sign, like, is a striker. Like, because you either spent like a striker just have one. Like, look at that kid in the German league. I think he's 2nd top goal scorer.
Karasi.
He hit a run of form, but I think he's just petered off.
Everyone was saying in January because he had apparently a 17 million release clause. Oh, Saint Sergio Grassi scored 17 goals this season, but no one's ever heard of him until now. And he's 27. Well, there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? Although I would sign him because better than what I've got.
For me, though, would you sign someone with the aim of signing like a world-class striker to replace Isaac and have Isaac be our
I don't think we play with a real striker.
For me, like, well, yeah, you can say that, but for me, like, Isaac's class and he's proven that. But again, can he stay fit? So for me, like, I would want to sign like a really, really good number 2 who's not going to cost 100 million, who can push Isaac to start, but also when and inevitably when he gets injured, he can step up and be number 1.
Do you not think we want to have like a forward line a bit like Liverpool? I think Howe's like they're sort of like they're not really strikers.
A lot of wingers, isn't it? Like, that was proven by signing Bonds. To be fair, we said that last week. Like signing Bonds was a bit.
Do you not think when Wilson plays, he doesn't really fit? Like, he seems to hold up the ball already, but then he just sort of lose it. It doesn't really fit in seamlessly with the way we play as a team as a whole. He's dangerous in the box, but I think I think Howe's vision, it's not necessarily Raul, but like, I like striker. But I think he wants like 3 cohesive forwards, but just swap.
Rotate.
Yeah, which I'm not against. You know what I mean?
Said that before, to be fair. I think that's why we're linked with Tiki because all the time we were linked with him. Eddie Howe was like, well, you know, I can play across the front 3, he's versatile and stuff like that. And
could
you
be
think
better
that's
on
why?
the transfer market as well, because it's not like technically an out-and-out striker.
Right.
Like look at that, like Diaz and stuff. To me, he's a winger. He's playing front for Liverpool.
Striker.
Yeah, they're not strikers. Like, and when I think of a striker,
I've seen a striker in Darwin Núñez and
I captain him every week in FPL because he's gonna come good.
One game he'll score about 5 goals.
He is on
Shearer.
I'm telling you, next season after 40 goals in season,
He has with 27
that's
chances.
Geordie's Mystic Rick's prediction.
Mystic Rick prediction, I get. So for me, I agree with you. Where I'd have Wilson as the 3rd choice, and I would bring in a young striker. Ideally, it would be hard to get. My first choice would be Bonnyface from Leverkusen. I think he's quality. He would offer something different. He's 6'7" or something. Young Nigerian, big build striker. I think that would be a good option to have someone like that. Obviously,
That's
I think
a great name to play in Newcastle.
Bonnyface.
It's got a real Bonnyface.
He's a Chronicles headline every week, wouldn't it?
Bonny. Easy tagline.
Is it Neto?
He's injured. I think now.
Great.
But Aaron in the chat now was saying Benjamin Sesko, Newcastle been with him for a while.
He not fell off as well though.
I don't think his goal scoring record's been as good.
He was mint at one point.
Everyone thought he was going to sign last summer, didn't
Man, you tried to sign him now.
Who was that Czech striker that scored like the hat-trick? Like he was meant to be the next big thing. He fell off. Like you just didn't like. It's hard.
Oh, this is the thing. It's the Euros this year, so you're going to get that one player who comes out of nowhere has 4 good games. He has a good group stage. Has a good
didn't he score from like the
quarter-final.
halfway line from against Scotland, didn't he?
And then no one's ever heard of him before, and suddenly he's worth 75 million. Chelsea will sign him.
I'd never heard of him before.
The hype of strikers, like when you're young, you get so excited by it.
Aye.
And now looking at Snap, I've no idea how to, like, even at Isak, like, I knew he might be all right, but I'd never really seen him play that much. In the first few games, I was probably slating him, to be fair. I think he's half, I was like, he's half a level. Like, he just wasn't seeming to do anything, and now he's actually class. So he didn't really know, you know. Like, he's got to enjoy it. Like, Tonali, I only knew because of playing Pro Evo. He was like the last wonder kid that I ever bought. I loved him. Yeah. Like a lot of the problems, you watch highlights, you read, obviously we read results constantly, so you see players. But I'm not like watching 180 minutes of Bundesliga every week. So like I see highlights, and you think, oh, he looks alright. But really, how good you don't really get I don't really try to judge other players now, even in the Prem, because since going live, like eating like Longstaff. Like if I was an opposition fan, I wouldn't even think Sean Longstaff's that good. When you're watching him live, on paper, he is incredible. Yeah. Like he does all the dirty work. He's up and down, but like he's just not pleasant on the football eye. You know what I mean? I
think with Longstaff, you've seen that at the back end of last season when he got injured, and at the beginning of this season when obviously he was replaced with Tonali. So I know with Tonali we smashed Villa, but then we lost horribly to Brighton. We lost to City and Liverpool. But it just felt like we were just missing Sean Longstaff. Like we've signed 55 million, big sexy, big money centre mid signing. Sandro Tonali is going to win with the league, and we're missing Sean Longstaff. Like, how does that make sense?
But he'll not get the ball, but he'll run and just like nudge and higher footed. And it doesn't really do anything, but it just totally like knocks the opposition player off the sort of momentum, and then someone will come in there, it cracks us up. Like he's not really doing anything, but you need him. Like it's a horrible, dirty.
I think he's very good at looking like he's doing something and not doing stuff like that.
So we found out on that, and then
he's everywhere. And Longstaff's covered.
But I think them players, I think them players that look like they're doing nothing and go massively under the radar are important. Like a Busquets, like players that aren't like they don't do nothing tremendously, but it just goes so underrated. Like I said, they just track back and just nudge off the ball. Something as simple as that, just a 6-yard pass. But sometimes them players are so important, and you miss them when they're not there, and you don't even realize how good a job they're doing. Like they go like completely under the radar. Someone like Michael Carrick, like I don't think Michael Carrick never really got his roses.
I didn't appreciate him until he was 30.
He's really good. Michael Carrick.
Yeah, he just never really got his roses because he just went so under the radar. Didn't do nothing tremendously, but just the effort that he put in was just fucking superb.
Other people didn't really appreciate that. I bet your Man U fans will love him. They're like because you could just see him controlling the game.
Like Darren Fletcher.
Bruno controls the game like that when he's on it. Like even in that, I want him further forward. But when he's on it in that back row, when he's controlling the game and just spraying back, like it's sort of like people get close to him constantly, he's suddenly just away from them, playing an unreal ball. Like it's mad players that.
Sean Biscuits, eh?
Sean Biscuits.
What do you reckon Sean Longstaff will be as a biscuit then?
Oh,
interesting
question.
Rich
T.
Rich T?
Oh, no,
that's Wilson. That's Wilson. That's Wilson all day long, that way. Wilson's the Rich T.
Hobnob.
Okay. He's not quite chocolate though, because he's not that luxurious.
In fairness,
clean, oaty.
In fairness, the reference to a rich tea, I kind of get because it is a boring. It isn't.
I was going to boring, but it
isn't the best, and it isn't the tasty biscuit, but it's an elite dunker. Like once you dunk it in the tea, it's unbelievable.
You have to be quick.
You've got to be quick.
You've got to be
quick. Yeah, but it's a top dunking biscuit. Rich tea with a cup of tea. Oh, no better than that. So yeah, I think Sean Longstaff that fits him because it's not sexy, it's not tasty, it's not pretty, but it's fucking good.
There you go. Drop your favourite biscuits in the comments. And other players that have been linked in before we touch on the Bournemouth game on Saturday. Other players that have been linked in the past 24 hours is Eddie Howe going back to Bournemouth. Loves the cherries. The duo that's been linked.
Bling.
Lloyd Kelly and Philip Billy.
He's gone back to Bournemouth. I was like,
no.
What reports?
We're talking about Bundesliga targets. Not that he doesn't want it. He wants the Bournemouth target. That's what he wants. He knows what he likes. He likes what he knows. He's been linked with Kelly. Freebie.
Good
Freebie.
player.
I think that's
potential.
He's a left back centre back.
He's meant to have a lot of potential on the side. I think he come from Bristol City, or do you come from somewhere? But I like that signing. Billing, to be fair, he's always sort of stood up for us when he's played Bournemouth. But again, I'm not going to nod until what's happened?
Wi-Fi went a little bit there, Peter. Sorry about that. Hopefully we're back on. All right.
I definitely don't hate it though. Like, obviously it's not glamorous. Like, it's not like Man City went and signed Rapinoe, but We need to build a squad. We haven't actually got a squad. Like when we start getting rid of these players that are coming to the end of the contract, we need to build a solid squad where you might not have players that start every week, but that can come in and do a hell of a job, or at least be sufficient enough in the cup to get you through.
Aye.
Like, you know what I mean? Kelly can totally push the start. Obviously, Shaw's getting on a bit. I'm still down a couple of years. But you're going to need, like, players to come through and push each other. So, them 2 signings might not be too expensive. Hopefully, we'll have a big summer and sign, like, 4, 5, 6.
I think I'll have a big summer. Like players like that, if you do get rid of the Deadwood,
No, yeah.
they make sense. I mean, they're not, and they won't be like, it's not like they'll be the only signings. So,
Kelly, I'm excited about, like, really excited about Kelly.
Kelly would be
Like,
a bit better.
You see, he's coming up on a free.
It's free.
transfer.
Yeah, that's a brilliant free signing.
AC Milan linked with him, Tottenham, Liverpool.
Meant to have
So like
loads of
the Deadwood, like your Paul Dummett, who probably shouldn't have even had his contract renewed. Like at least he can come in and fill his role because he's another one who plays centre back and left back. He can do a bit of both. But yeah, that's maybe he's better out there. Like maybe he goes a little bit underrated.
Billy fits our midfield in terms of height, strength, box to box. Like the kind of player Howe likes. So I can totally see why.
But he's saying
he
for
come in and
Bournemouth,
just
didn't he?
sort of fit the mold the way we play. So that actually makes sense.
Yeah, he's one of them that Eddie Howe can improve because, like, yeah, I think he's good. Like for me, I think he's a little bit overrated. But
Again, he's in a Bournemouth team.
But again, he's in a Bournemouth team. So if he can come somewhere better and get developed, but it also depends on what our midfield looks like going into next season. Because if everyone's still there, if we don't sell anyone, like once Tonali's back and once Julian on and Willock's back, like how better than them is he? Like how much impact is he going to make? Like for me, like, I don't know. Like I don't know if he's any better than any of them. Like yeah, he could develop and improve to show he's better than maybe a Willock, but for me, I don't really rate it that highly, to be honest.
No.
I really, really want it. And that's glamorous in the slightest. But instead of Bill, I'd rather have Dewsbury all from last time. I honestly think the kid, I think he's an absolute baller. Like he's like the Shelby of the Champions League. He's far too good for that league.
So is he just a centre mid or is he 10?
He can play centre mid, but he's sort of free roll. Just sort
of like young Madison.
Very creative.
Yeah,
but he's more like I don't know how to. He's more like passing based instead of Madison. Madison he runs and that. Dewsbury's like runs onto stuff, but he's like really creative. Like I know he's not as good as this at all. It reminds us a bit like Oliver. The way he plays, like silky, like looks like he's Spanish. Like,
the Athletic was saying towards the end of January that we did try and approach him, but obviously they're trying to get promoted.
He's a Leicester kid now, so you might not want to leave him if they get up.
No. I think if we came in, he would leave. Like, but again, they would want a lot of money.
He would be English kid. Yeah. He would be my signing of like if I could pick any player to come and slot into a team, I would love to see what Eddie could do with him. I'm not saying he comes.
He's not the youngest either, is he? He's not like 19.
He's a late bloomer,
yeah. Right, if you loans, but Madison was a bit like that.
Harry Kane was that?
Yeah, I would love to see what Eddie could do. Like I think that's a proper player.
But would he fit our system? Because we don't really play with like a number 10, would he? He'd have to play like more like number 8 or on the wing.
So we'll just start the 6 off. We'll just Dewsbury Hall, Bruno.
Do you know
we'll have all the 8s.
Just play 3 number 10s.
We'll have all the number 10s in the wings.
I love Almiron, but he's a bit like our G-Sun Park.
You love Almiron, do you?
I like him in terms of he's like a G-Sun Park. Like if you're playing away at a hard team and you want to try and just nick a goal on away goals in Champions League or something, like he's that kind of player that like works really hard. But we need a right winger because it's like letting we're down every week. Like we're so predictable down that side, if that makes sense as well.
Yeah.
Like that would need a right winger.
I think we've potentially already got his replacement.
I love him. Like
Yankuba Minta.
All right.
I think he's doing absolutely. He's literally for me what Dan Ashworth was doing at Leicester. Like all the players that was signed, Brighton. All the players that he signed, nobody's from shit leagues, never heard their name before in your life, loaned out immediately. But they were the likes of like your McAllisters, your Caicedos, your Mitomas, your Esputnians, like people like that. Like they were Dan Ashworth signings, and for me, Yankuba Minta's
wouldn't mind one of them, to be fair. Like.
But for me, Minta is because he hasn't got to nobody. He's gone to a very good team. He's got the Feyenoord. Feyenoord's a top Dutch team and played Champions League football. And he's doing mint, and they love him.
8 goals, I think, this season.
He's a class player for a very, very good Dutch team that's played Champions League football. So for me, he could be like your Caicedo. For me, I think he could come back next season and challenge Miggy to start and probably win the job midway through. If he doesn't get loaned out again, maybe does. But I think Minta's the future right winger.
I think we need probably 2 right wingers. We'll probably sell Miggy for money in the summer.
Because then you got Murphy as the backup, and the question is always there about Murphy's end product still, even though he does score the odd goal. I'll keep him as squad player. We need a killer on the right. If we're going to try and get back to top 4 and win cups like the owners want and everyone wants, then you need a killer on that right wing.
Here's a question for you: left foot or right foot?
Right foot.
So yeah, I need left foot on the wing. I can't handle it. I need like right on the left, left on the right. I can't handle right wing on the right foot. Gone are the days of doing it. Gone are the days.
Everyone cuts in.
I need to be cutting in, switching.
Cutting in, aye.
Yeah, I can't handle it.
I'm not really asked to score goals.
For me, though, you've got to be both footed. Like if you're a winger, you've got to be both footed. Like this Miggy,
Gone are the days.
This Miggy who
Gone are the days.
This Miggy who can't play with his right foot pisses me off royally. I think if you because Moussa Diaby, he's like a left-footed right winger, but he's got a right foot.
That's just thing, right? Like, come back to me. Like, your job is to play football, right? And like, I'll probably like it's just like brilliant. Like, I know it's frustrating. Like,
I can't stand the company.
But you're on that training ground, right? Like for 4, 5, 6 hours. You don't just think I'll just spend an hour just playing the right foot.
You know what it is.
You know what I mean?
When I was about 7 or 8 years old, someone told me that.
Yeah.
Like,
I used to kick up against the wall.
Yeah, I did because I'm a right-footed, but someone told me when I was literally about 7 or 8 years old, a good footballer needs to be both footed. So I was like, all right, no worries. So like for like a full summer, I just booted the ball with my left foot, and now I'm very, very both footed. I'm comfortable either side. Like in fact, I prefer using my left foot. I love using my left foot, like as opposed to me right. But like I say, Miggy, who's on about 60 grand a week, like. Why can't you literally kind of kick about?
When Miggy had that tap-in, when he had that
does
tap-in opportunity, he had the chance to just tap it in with his right foot against Milan. We're through at the Champions League, and that was enough for me. That was it.
Have you ever tried using like a pool cue or something with the opposite hand? Nearly impossible. Ronnie O'Sullivan is playing an elite level snooker, both-handed, trained himself because he was never left-handed. Miggy can learn to use his right foot. I mean, like, wait.
It's mad. It's absolutely mad. But let's just quickly look. Then we've got a few minutes left of the podcast. People, those who are listening as well, it is available on all audio platforms, Spotify, Apple, and all that as well. Let's look ahead to Saturday, 3:00 kickoff. Bournemouth at home. Eddie Howe looking to defeat his former side for the first time.
We've just called Bournemouth right now. Pretty much the guy to do.
Like Kelly Brace,
Bill and Patrick, 5-0.
I don't know if Billen's injured, to be fair. No, he's suspended. He's suspended because he didn't play in the last game.
I've said he's overrated. So
in my head, I think,
my God, screamer.
They had that bit of run of form, but they petered off. And in my head, I'm like, we should be beating them. But again, if I'm going to strike that, I've got the idea.
No, well, that's it.
Like, how can I be angry at a team with 0 strikers? You
got Fabian Sharman, not you?
Fabian Sharman, Bruno in the best form of his life. He's coming.
And then Luton, I think we're away forms picking up our home forms.
Well, we haven't won in 3 at home.
So we're homes, we
haven't won in 3 at home, and we've won 3 away in a row.
I think we'll probably pull up back. I think momentum hit. I think we're going to have 10 points to 12. Positive, Rick. No, I think we'll probably. I think Bournemouth will probably score.
How are positively?
I think 2-1 or 3-1 or 3-1. 2.
I think Bournemouth have been good this season. They just took a batter off Fulham, to be fair.
That's it. If you look at the fixtures and the form of it's like they hit that peak.
They had a good spell about 2-3 weeks ago, in the last couple of results. But that Areola seemed to be coming to his own. But I mean, Eddie Howe, he's got to show that he's not still Bournemouth. Like, he never seems to want us to beat against them.
Team Bournemouth
never seems to want to beat them. Loves the cherries. Here's the Mags. So obviously we're looking to turn things around. Question marks over Wilson, Gordon, fucking everybody these days, isn't it? Even Murphy now is a bit of a thing as well, like against in the last game.
Kieran Wilson, is his pectoral muscle or something? I thought it was his legs that were made of dust. Like, why is everything just breaking down? Like,
I thought it was a dislocated shoulder because you could see he was like sort of holding there. His arm went limp, as if he's had a dislocated shoulder. I was like, not another one.
Another one?
Because Murphy and Pope dislocated their shoulders. That's what kept them off.
What's going on with these shoulders?
But pectoral muscle, I'm not really too sure what the length of that kind of injury is. But
I think maybe I mean.
Gordon was. Gordon was on a fucking.
So whatever. If Eddie Howe says he's going to play on Friday, that means he's not. And if he says, he's fucked, that means he'll be starting.
Gordon was on crutches on Tuesday and started on Saturday.
But again, there's Wilson going against his former side.
You think Barnes will start? I'd like to say.
Definitely, if Wilson's not ready.
I like Barnes.
I really like Harvey Barnes.
If Murphy isn't as well, we'll see.
I really like Harvey Barnes. But what we're going to finish on there then is Bournemouth have only failed to score away from home in one of 14 League and Cup games this season. So we could have
big stat.
Another 4 form hands.
I mean, based off the last 2 games, even for us, we're conceding goals, our defence is leaky. So
midfield is leaky.
Midfield and defence are a bit
leaky.
No, it's proper exciting. look, it's just really exciting to be in
But we can
Newcastle fans,
score
like,
goals
either
as
way.
well. Like we've scored 7 in my last 2 games, but we've also conceded 6. So like when we're scoring goals, so that's a positive. But yeah, the defense is just what the big question is, and especially if Bournemouth are capable of scoring goals as well, then I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting game. Like it should be just another goal fest. Maybe so 4, 5, 6 goals in this one.
I think we're going to be dominant. Yeah,
I think we'll win this one.
I think we've just come through gritty performances, and I just think we're going to put a show on for the. Well, I'm not going to put a show on for the fans, but most important question though. Well, this is going to sort the Wi-Fi out and change because I'm sick of having me.
They should do that.
I just turned my phone off.
I thought that was going to be one of the big takeover things. Like I know that's still developing the stadium. There's a lot of development to do in that stadium, but yeah, I think Wi-Fi should have been a big one.
I was in the director's box, man, for the Man City games. You got people there paying $5,000 a year to be in there. And I were in there an hour before the game, having a bit of scran and that. And I said, oh, what's the Wi-Fi? I was like, I don't need Wi-Fi now. I was like, no, you're gonna be taking the business. I was like, how much?
$5,000 again.
How much is you taking back? He's like, I need Wi-Fi. But it turns out I actually discovered there was. So when this bloke obviously just didn't ask anyone, and I went and asked him. They only recently got it. To be fair, he'd been there a couple of years, and he just not bothered because he just thought, that's the same old thing. They actually did have it in the box, but as soon as you went out to your seat, still, even though you're still in that area and you're next to bloody Southgate and Stadium and that. They haven't got Wi-Fi either. Even when you're in the seats. And we've been to Spurs.
Hey, when that Southgate doesn't come to Oshawa.
I know. Can upload his Instagram stories. So he's so when I was at West Ham, we've been to Tottenham, Wi-Fi, not any bother. Even like Old Trafford, you get good signal and that. And just in there, it's like fucking the world's end.
Most
stadiums
do because we're in 2024 and that. So Wi-Fi and technology, it's just a bit of a common thing.
At times I haven't been able to cash out on a press because of that, you know what I mean?
I can't exactly. That's what I want to. I can't even get in the stadium with him queuing for 40 minutes, and then I can't even have Wi-Fi when I'm in there. You know, what's going on?
First world problems,
Yeah, big problems.
I'm gonna go and then let's round it off with our predictions for Bournemouth. I'm gonna go against everything we've just said and say it's gonna be a scruffy 1-0.
Scruffy, big number.
Botman's due one, isn't he? I'll go.
Every week.
I'll go Botman. No. Trippier free kick. There we go. He's due one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm saying goals. I could see it being another Fulham, Forest. So I think we'll win, but I think it'll be scrappy. But I think it'll be goals. So it could be another 3-3, 3-2, 4-4. So yeah, I'm going to go with a 3-2 win.
3-2 win. Joey, what are you?
I think 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
It doesn't matter, because obviously the next game.
Actually, I'm not changing. 3-0. I'm going to
3-0. Positivity. Keeping them out.
I just think we're sorted.
Obviously, the next game after that is Arsenal away, so it'd be nice to get 3 points on the board, wouldn't it?
Oh, we'll have 10 out of 12, and then you lose to Arsenal. It's not a big deal.
Got a good draw against Arsenal last year, so take that.
They're not unbeatable, you know what I mean? They're on really good, obviously.
They're mid-form in a minute,
but they might just lose this weekend, and then.
So we got this weekend?
Well, no idea.
Gonna lose anyways.
You're gonna lose Arsenal. You're playing, but you're lose it.
Just smashed West Ham 6-0. Beat Liverpool.
That was kind of good. That 6-0 against West Ham.
There's no Madrid fixtures this week, isn't there?
Champions League this week, isn't it?
Oh, it is not.
No, would have been. Wouldn't have with that.
Could have been a way to. Who would have been? Sociedad or something? No, it was Europe.
Arsenal away to Burnley.
That's 6-0. Confidence booster. Right then, people. That'll do. Geordie, it's been a pleasure. Good to see you again, mate. Good stuff. I'll expect plenty of woos if we keep on this FA Cup run, mate.
Sorry, win the final. Come
Do you
back.
reckon you got any chance of winning the FA Cup? Blackburn, then through the quarters?
I think we've got a hell of a chance.
Hell of a chance.
Yeah.
We're taking it serious. We're not playing reserves every week. We've got a hell of a chance. If Wigan can get to a final and beat Man City, I'm telling you, we're due our time. Honestly, there's the cups. Anybody's got a chance.
A couple of big teams already knocked out as well.
That's what I remember the Trippier mistake. I was in my head, I was like, oh my god, we've got the semi. We're so close. It's moments, isn't it? Blackburn normally I'd be like, oh god, they're gonna do us. And just in the FA Cup, it's just a bit dodgy. But I just think we're focused and want it. And you get the quarters,
we get a home draw in the quarters, no matter who it is.
I think Coventry's got Maidstone or something. You know what I mean? You get Coventry or Maidstone in the quarters, then you're in the semis. Then, honestly, just get us to an FA Cup fight.
Yeah, I think you're right. There are quite a few decent teams already gone out, and we're so close to the quarterfinals. There's no reason why we can't at least get to the final. Favourable draws, even if we get, we've already put City and United out of the Carabao Cup. we can cause an upset against anyone on my day. So
I do not feel
Yeah.
the FA Cup anymore. I used to.
No, I see.
I used to
Terrible
protege
memories.
it. It would be like me players that you knew playing, and we'd just get beat off everyone. Even Trippier's debut, I was like devastated. I was a Cambridge. I was like, oh, Kieran Trippier, get in! We're finally gonna see a cup win.
I was so surprised he started. You know, like I couldn't
playing the
believe
strongest
he
team possible.
started.
We're playing proper.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god,
You only signed like 3 or 4 days before. It's fucking Cambridge. He came to help us survive the Premier League. Like, imagine if he got injured in that game and he's out for the next like 4 months. Like, you were signed to help us survive relegation. And he got injured to fucking Cambridge. Like, I could not believe he started that game. Like, I was fuming to be
Maxie
honest.
just dancing a bit.
Actually dancing the Cambridge dancing the 2-9, the big mark. Good. Anyway, he's going to win it this year, so it's all good. Okay, as a pleasure as always, mate. Good to see you. We'll unfortunately not be back next Tuesday live at 7 because I'll be in Portugal.
Oh,
And
Portugal!
nice little
Gotta
holiday
say
for me.
Hugo Vaiana,
I'm
yeah.
going to see Hugo Vaiana. Going to go and see who's any famous
Jose Mourinho.
Jose Mourinho. He'll be there actually. He's not else, he hasn't.
I
I was thinking, what's that striker?
Right,
That used to be called Helder Costa or something.
Helder Postiga.
Postiga.
Rui
aye.
Costa.
Rui Costa.
Figo.
Figo, aye. They'll be there. Figo will be on the channel next week.
Figo channel.
And then actually the week after that is Blackburn on a Tuesday, which I'll be at. So we'll maybe have to do it on the Monday or the Wednesday the week after.
Yeah.
Then we'll be back in business. But keep an eye on it anyways. Keep your ears listening at the Magpie Channel TV podcast, available on Spotify, Apple, all those audio platforms. Thanks very much, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Subscribe to Magpie Channel TV. And see you later.
Wrong.
Dash.